Flying Bison is a Buffalo beer institution. Their handcrafted beers can be found in restaurants and stores around Western New York, but they're made right here in Buffalo.
We're what's called a craft brewery, which means we make our beer out of malted barley, hops, water, and yeast. We don't use any sugars or colors or artificial flavors. We don't do the fruits or spices or anything like that. We like beer-flavored beer.
Tim Herzog from Flying Bison is about to give Matt, our intern, and I a tour of the facility.
Okay. All malted barley starts out pale, and then it can be roasted to different degrees of color and flavor. And it's how you mix those together that gives you the color, flavor, and body of your beer. Malt is kind of the heart and soul of the beer. And then the hops, which I don't know if you saw some growing outside, but the hops are the herbs and spices that add interest and really punch up the flavors in the beer.
You know, I went on a brewery tour once, and they offered up hops for people to eat. Those taste disgusting.
They're pretty sharp. They're pretty bitter.
Yeah.
So when we dissolve them in the beer, you've got that bitterness, but that bitterness is there to balance the sweetness that you've taken from the malted barley.
And Flying Bison brings in their barley and hops from around the world to make their brews. All these factors working together in exact measurements make a specific, one-of-a-kind beer. And the public sometimes has a chance to try their hand at creating a recipe.
Once a month, we do something that we call flight school, where people can come in and make a one-barrel batch of beer with us on a Saturday and, you know, learn all about making beer, and then that gives us something to try, something new, something different to taste.
Whether the recipe's new or one of Flying Bison's tried and true brews, the barley mixture moves on to the next steps of the process.
We've got the big brew house behind us. This is where we turn our ingredients into beer. The cracked barley comes through the auger and drops down. We pump hot water in, so the water and the malted barley mix together. And there's the heart and soul of your beer. There's no substitute for slow and careful in brewing. You can't rush it, you can't squish it, you've got to be very careful and just kind of let it take its course.
The process is so exact that every hour and every degree makes a difference in the flavor of the finished product.
The time that things are cooling or heating, if they're off at all, does that change the beer?
Yes, absolutely. Everything that you do, from the size of the particle when you crack the malt to the amount of time that you spend aging the beer, everything that we do affects the flavor of the beer.
And now that we've seen how it's made, it's time to give this beer a try.
You want to just knock it open quick and close it quick. That's it. Anything in between all the way open and all the way closed is a lot of foam.
And while tasting is fun, the brewmasters at Flying Bison want you to remember to sip responsibly as well as locally.
You know it's local, you know it's fresh. You can meet the people that grow your food, that make your beer, that bake your bread. And it's the way that Buffalo in particular used to work.
So I want to use like a citrus.
All right.